This is the Baltimore Sports Pub. Here's Terry Ford, Brent Harris, and Alex Woodward.
It's a Tuesday here in the pub, October 20th. Today on the show, Earl Thomas files a grievance against the Ravens, and Ravens fans are on pace to be at the stadium for Week 8's matchup against the Steelers. Last night, we had a Monday night doubleheader as the Chiefs beat the Bills, and the Cowboys got humiliated at home by the Cardinals. Brent Harris, what was your main takeaway after watching those games last night?
I believe Dak Prescott made another $10 million guaranteed. I think he just sitting it out and watching it, it may be the best move for Dak Prescott, right? I mean, Andy Dalton was awful. They turned the ball over a ton. Ezekiel Elliott had a couple of turnovers. Terry said yesterday maybe because Andy Dalton is a quarterback, they'll lean on the running game a little more. Well, that was a mistake. And Alex was absolutely right that Dallas could not hang with Arizona. They have playmakers, and they certainly got the ball to their playmakers in the game. CeeDee Lamb, I think, had a handful of catches. I think Amari Cooper is one of the best wide receivers in all of football, to be honest. I thought when he went there last year, he made a world of difference for that offense. But, man, Andy Dalton, I guess, just isn't the answer for them. So
he was bad. The offensive line, there's nobody left.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody's hurt on the offensive line. You know, Ezekiel Elliott has more fumbles this year than he had in his entire career combined. He's just putting the rock all over the carpet. And killed him, too, last night.
And by the way, is Greg Roman watching that Kyler Murray fake pitch where he just kind of let the ball go and then grabbed it and went around the corner for 10? Put that in the Ravens playbook.
Fellas, the Arizona offense, their passing game, besides a couple of big plays, was terrible. He completed 9 balls all night. I mean, 2 or 3 of them were big plays, but Murray wasn't sharp. I mean, Kenyon Drake's still running up and down the road against – Dallas's defense is so bad in general. Kenyon Drake and Kenyon Drake has not had a good year until last night.
Oh, he had a great year last night.
Yes, he did. Look, I love Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan's a really good dude. He was the defensive coordinator here for the Ravens for a bit. He's the DC in Dallas, and that defense, for what they were last year, which was okay, they could end up being the worst defense in the history of that franchise.
Can you imagine coaching the Ravens defense at one point in your career, and then you end up someplace like Dallas, and you're looking at these guys, and you're like,
disaster.
You have a safety saying, we're not going to play 100% every play.
You want to play hard?
What do you mean? We're going to finish every play? Come on.
You want me to play hard?
Impossible.
Hey, come on, I can't play hard every play.
They look like they played about 60% last night. So
you know what? Here's the funniest part. They're in first place in the crappy NFC East. So that's the funniest part. And think about this. This is the first time, guys, since the merger in 1970 that a team with a losing record has led a division 6 weeks into the season. That's how bad that's how joke that division is.
Can't wait for Thursday night, Eagles-Giants. Pivotal matchup in that NFC East race.
Hey, first place is literally on the line for 2 teams that have 1 win. That is nuts.
It's sad.
All I know is this. If you play a drinking game for every punt and turnover, you might die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, nobody's getting out of the first quarter in that game.
It's awful.
Let's give a shout-out to our new sponsor, Great 8's Memorabilia. Great 8's Memorabilia would like to thank everybody who registered for the upcoming golf tournament in Hampstead. They are sold out. Every ticket, every spot is taken.
That's right. Great 8's Memorabilia. They're known as the memorabilia dealers that care about the community, and they proved that. Already sold out for that golf tournament. And they're always thinking about the next move. They have a Thanksgiving food drive coming up, and they are your go-to guys for all your fundraising needs, like online silent auctions, raffles, and bookings for player appearances.
Okay, it's just very simple, too. You just head to great8smemorabilia.com, the number 8, great8smemorabilia.com, or hit their Facebook page for all their up-to-date events. You can see everything they're doing, so you can find out. It's easy to check out. Or you can give them a ring, 443-415-9315, 443-415-9315. Big
story, it's you, the Ravens fans. PSL holders have been sent emails today by the team about ticket request info for Week 8's game against the Steelers. It will be a lottery system to determine who gets to go, and you can sit with 2 to 6 people together. The only problem is the team is still waiting on approval from Mayor Jack Young. Terry Ford, do you expect Mayor Young to approve this? And what difference will it actually make to have about 7,000 fans on game day?
I mean, It's really weird. It's hard to say for sure because Baltimore City's been kind of slower than everyone else in opening things up. I mean, I guess it puts some more money in your pocket, right? As you're a city, even if it was going to be 7,000 people tops. I think Baltimore City will do it. I guess. If you got to maybe yes or no, yes, they'll do it. Is it going to make a big difference? Well, if you get 7,000 of the loudest PSL owners and make sure they're good and fired up, if you know what I'm saying, you can make some noise. But 7,000 compared to 71,000 is nothing. But at least you can have someone in the stands and someone in the stadium. So I think the city will do it. Is it 7,000 people and they'll space them all out? But yeah. This is where we're at. Baby steps, Brent Harris.
Yeah, it's more about getting a little atmosphere, I think.
Yeah.
It really isn't. The NFL owners aren't getting a whole, not getting a big payday because they're putting 10% of the fan base into the stadiums. And you're seeing this a lot more now around the country. This is not the SEC. The NFL is not the SEC. They're not trying to jam 80, 90, 100,000 people into their stadiums. So they're trying to go, as you said, baby steps, a little bit at a time. You're not going to be able to tailgate, right? So those 7,000, some of those people may go downtown and grab lunch before they head over to the stadium for the game. I think ultimately, though, for the Ravens, for people watching on TV, for the NFL, it gives a little bit of atmosphere. There's a big difference in 7,000 fans and no fans at all. That I've noticed.
Yeah. Now, the other thing, too, is doesn't it kind of just, whether it's real or not, just kind of gives you the idea, okay, now we're starting to move forward a little bit. Okay, we're going to get 7,000 people in. Governor Larry Hogan, okay, 10% capacity or whatever. Because we've said this before. We all want to move forward and try to get back to normal at some point. We're all tired of this. So, okay, 10%. That's better than no percent. So we're moving forward. We're doing something. Look at us. Here we go. Yeah, it's not a big deal, but it's better than a zero. It is.
And for the players, it's a rivalry game. They're coming off the bye week. They'll finally have some fans there. So it might be a little bit extra energy for them coming into the game. I'm not saying that they're going to come out and be like, yeah, we got 7,000 people. This is amazing. We're going to play our best football ever. But I do think we've talked about this before, how this team has fun and had fun last year when things were going great. They're dancing on the sideline and they're putting on sunglasses on, hanging out, taking pictures. A lot of that has to do with, I think they like the attention of working off the crowd. And even if it's 7,000 people there, 700 people there, if they have some kind of reaction from a good play, I think it helps, help them build that confidence and kind of get that swagger back a little bit because you've seen it. We've talked about it with Lamar Jackson. He looks a little bit, his body language isn't great sometimes. Look a little frustrated and everything. Maybe if you get a little energy in that stadium, you can kind of crank it up an extra level, even if it's only 7,000 people. So, Brent Harris, what is this? Oh, I'm sorry. Earl Thomas has filed his grievance against the Ravens since they released him way before his 4-year deal was up, just 1 year in. Brent Harris, what does this mean for the Ravens cap situation moving forward?
Well, I am not a capologist, but I can read the internet and see how this is going to affect the Ravens. That's what I did. By the way, you have 50 days from the time that you are cut before you can file, or the deadline to file a grievance. And they waited, Earl Thomas and the NFLPA waited right up until the 50th day. So they filed right on the deadline. I guess Thomas's contract, 40% of what is owed to him, which was $10 million, is automatically affected by the team. So that $4 million, 40% of the $10 million, goes against the Ravens salary cap. So all of a sudden the Ravens go from 8.1, 8.2 down to 4.1, 4.2. That can be a big difference. And if you're going to try to sign a player or make a move here at the trade deadline, couldn't $4 million, half of your available salary cap, really affect any moves that you make? So this grievance, while when you read the headline, you go, all players file grievances when they're cut and they don't feel like they want to be paid the money that they were going to pay. The team doesn't want to pay them because, look, Earl Thomas did a bunch of stuff, not just the fighting with the teammates, the stuff in the hotel room. I mean, there was a list of stuff that they can point to. And why Earl Thomas wants to go and have all this come out again, who knows? But I guess it's worth the $10 million. But ultimately, though, Terry, this is a hit for the Ravens. This is a $4 million hit right now. And if they lose the case down the road, the rest of it goes against the cap. But that may happen after the season. We don't know when they're going to hear that. So I'm not worried about that right now. That $4 million, though, is an issue.
Yeah, I mean, your available cap pool just got cut 50%. And like you said, remember Ravens last year went out and traded for Marcus Peters. And there's been a lot of talk. Would they go chase a receiver or whatever the case, and maybe an offensive lineman if the offensive line continues to have issues in the interior. So, yeah, this does affect what you're going to do. And the other part of this, I thought, okay, conduct detrimental to the team. The fight with Chuck Clark, you would deem conduct detrimental to the team, even though you have these kind of fights in camps and stuff all the time. Being late to meetings, and he was, according to some of the stuff I read, he was fined for being late to meetings. So now you've got a trail of he was late to meetings, which is conduct detrimental to the team. He was talked to, he was fined, yada, yada, yada. So, the stuff with the, the adultery, I don't know if you really call that. I call that conduct detrimental to your life.
Yeah.
Because remember, she had a gun.
Image, you represented the Ravens.
Again, that's going to be one of those. Yeah, that's going to be one of those slippery slope deals. But the meetings is definitely conduct detrimental. The fight, and again, those are things that happen a lot. But when you're in a litigation type of situation where you're having a hearing and you're building the evidence on why you got rid of a guy and why you shouldn't give him that $4 million, I think the Ravens can dig up enough to probably get that, and that then the $4 million comes off. If the Ravens win, the $4 million comes off. But again, it doesn't really matter right now, like you said, Brent, because the trade deadline's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and you've just lost half of your available cap space. So I looked at it twofold. I was like, first of all, it stinks what happened, losing your cap maneuverability. But two, I'm thinking, could he really win? Does he have, because if the Ravens had never fined him or had never brought him or took him to task for being late to meetings, then he might have a case, right? Because no one's ever said anything to me. And now all of a sudden you're getting rid of me because of this fight. Because then you could say, well, they're just getting rid of me for the cap money. But when you were late to meetings and you were kind of a pain in the butt.
And there's video of you punching.
And there's video.
Safety.
And we fined you. And, I don't know if Earl's going to win. Again, it doesn't matter right now. But in the long run, the Ravens might look pretty good in not having to give up any of that. But right now, to your point, Brent, you got trade deadline coming up. It kind of stinks.
All right, to our dumb story. It's the Philadelphia Eagles fans. Eagles were just recently given permission to allow 10% of their normal capacity into the stadium last week. And of course, Eagles fans, they never change. They do exactly what you would expect them to do. They fought each other. A big brawl broke out in the stands with Eagles fans punching other Eagles fans, breaking every COVID protocol in the book. Terry Ford, your girlfriend, is an Eagles fan, so why do they love fighting each other so much? Why don't they fight the Ravens fans, the three that are there?
Guys, I shared this with you before. I went to her last night after you sent me the story on texting. I said, hey, babe, guess what? Eagles fans are fighting Eagles fans at the link. I didn't even finish the sentence. She looked at me. She goes, no. It's those bleepers from New Jersey. It's those bleep holes from New Jersey coming into Philly and making us Philadelphia people look bad. She goes, I guarantee you they all have Jersey plates. Because that's the Philadelphia. That's always the excuse. It's the Jersey dirt bags coming into Philly making them look bad.
You come back from commercial at the game and you see that sign in Philadelphia. It says love, right? And all the couples get underneath and take a picture. Then you have the soft dissolve to the link. And all of a sudden you just see a couple of guys just pounding the crap out of each other. It's like, what in the hell?